So I want to get to some of the latest polls and something very interesting that could be developing up in Massachusetts.
Yeah, for more, let's welcome in pollster for McLaughlin and Associates, Jim McLaughlin, and former Massachusetts candidate for governor, Geoff Diehl. Great to have you both on this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Good to see you both. Geoff, I want to talk to you about this new poll from Mass Fiscal. They've been right before. It basically found that former Republican Governor Charlie Baker, if he runs against Elizabeth Warren for her Senate seat in 2024, he'd beat her without any problems. The margin 49 to 34%. Could this happen? How weak is Elizabeth Warren in the Bay State?
Well, let me put it this way. She ran for president in 2020, came in third in Massachusetts. After she had said she wasn't going to run for president when she won her Senate seat again, she's backed a woman who's the attorney general who became the U.S. attorney for Massachusetts, who's stepping down with an ethics scandal. So that's a problem. And I don't think she's ever shaken her Native American appropriation and heritage question.
Right.
Yeah, she's 73 years old right now. That's not old, and she looks great. She definitely, sounds great. But again, to Geoff's point, she was popular in Massachusetts, but Governor Baker was extremely popular in Massachusetts. Jim, but he's got a good job right now. Do you think he tries to maybe get back into politics?
He's getting paid a lot of money by the NCAA at the end of the day. And I know Charlie a little bit. Look, I think it'll be tough to get him into the race. But look, it just goes to show you how vulnerable that somebody like Elizabeth Warren is, because all these problems we have that are going on in the world right now, whether it's the economy, whether it's immigration, whether it's crime, the voters are leaving that on the doorstep, a lot of these incumbent politicians. I think maybe we should get Geoff to run.
Geoff, that was my next question. As we take a live look at the city of Boston and the John Hancock Tower and the Salt and Pepper Bridge
there you go.
That takes you over to Cambridge and the Prue off in the distance. Geoff, are you out of politics or are you going to get back in?
Look, I'm helping the next great candidate that comes along. And I will say this. I think Charlie Baker's the only candidate that could beat Elizabeth Warren at this time in Massachusetts.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a lot of coattails for fellow Republicans, but at the same time, he's got a brand that I think works for this state. And I think that's the kind of Republican that this state would elect. Now, look, we're bringing Jim Jordan up to Massachusetts this weekend. We've got sold out events. The base Republicans love a hardcore conservative. But the problem is this state won't necessarily elect them. So as far as my chances, I will talk about that maybe down the road with my wife. But right now, I think Charlie Baker would be the person that's best teed up to do this.
Jim, sounds like Geoff's running. I don't know about you. It sounds like he's getting into it. No, I just think also, good point about Charlie Baker. It would be this is a story because it would be a big pickup for Republicans in the Senate because technically he's a Republican. I think a lot of people think of Charlie Baker outside of Massachusetts like they think of Mitt Romney, maybe more of a rhino than a real true conservative. I want to go to the north to New Hampshire. Ron DeSantis going back to the Granite States tomorrow, Jim. And Massachusetts and New Hampshire share that media market in southern New Hampshire. So DeSantis has said basically that the strategy is Iowa and New Hampshire. What if Chris Sununu gets into the race and runs as basically a favorite son, governor of New Hampshire up there, and basically messes up the entire primary?
Yeah, the interesting part, though, Donald Trump is still the 800-pound gorilla in the room here. It doesn't matter. Even in Florida, a survey just came out in Florida where Donald Trump has a significant lead over Ron DeSantis right now. And that lead has been going up and up and up basically over the last couple months. If you look at the average of the polls right now, Donald Trump's up by about 35 points. And we've seen polls in New Hampshire where Chris Sununu is only in the single digits right now. So clearly, right now, Donald Trump is the clear frontrunner in this race. And look, I think what's happened is the more and more that Ron DeSantis has gone on the national stage, the more and more the voters like Donald Trump versus Ron DeSantis.
Yeah, I think you're right. Geoff, let's go to an Emerson poll. Again, a lot of these polls that we show, Trump's ahead. Trump at 70% and DeSantis at 14%. This really isn't a surprise, though. And I do wonder what you think based on all the things that we've been talking about, especially with the Durham report. Do you expect these poll numbers, Geoff, to go up?
Well, let me put it first of all this way. I think people really appreciated what Ron DeSantis did by sending migrants to Martha's Vineyard because it really exposed the Democrats for not really taking care of the immigrants they say they want to bring into America. So I give him credit for that. But Donald Trump is, Jim's right, very strong in New England. Massachusetts, solid. New Hampshire, I think, solid as well, even over Sununu. So, what I saw in Trump in 2015 that led me to endorse him in 16 and what gave him, overwhelming support with Republicans in New England, I think is what's continuing on now. He gave us a great economy, and people right now are very scared about their futures.
Yeah, great points. Look forward to having you both back. Jim, good to see you again. Geoff Diehl, great to have you back on.
Thank you so much.
Great to be here.
All right, we'll do it again soon. We've got